Thank you. The chair recognizes Susan Murphy for the purpose of giving a report of the Board of Directors.
Thank you. We wanted to put a presentation together because a lot of you are new to the association or have joined us in the last few months and really don't know what took place and what happened. So, with no further ado, we began. In March 2008, those 12 of us that owned the properties got a little note taped to our door from Carl Shelley that said, you guys need to have a meeting on March 15th at such as, it was 1966 was our location, and y'all need to be there. Following that, I contacted Carl to figure out what was going on because I had a commitment that day and couldn't be there. And I learned that the Westbrook Partners LLC had not been paying the bills, had not been returning phone calls for him, had not been paying him, and he was hired to do the management, so to speak, through the program. The garbage was not being collected, and there were lots of issues. It was a hornet's nest. I started making phone calls. I contacted consumers and couldn't get very far because, gee, I wasn't the customer. Because I was going out of town, I immediately called a local attorney that I hold in great regard and said, I think I need you to be at this meeting for me. So we talked that through, and I was okay with not going, and I presented a letter to the rest of the owners of what I had learned thus far to date, which was okay, but not a lot of information. I learned about my sewer. My sewer was a few months behind, but it wasn't as bad as some of the owners' sewers. Sewer bills, as you know, come out quarterly. I think mine was behind a quarter, but I think maybe Jan and Pam's, yours were 2 quarters behind. I don't know if anybody's was longer than that. You were 2. So that was kind of where we were at. Several members attended the meeting to hear the bad news and then relayed that information to the rest of us. After the meeting, I started to contact Jeff Egan to coordinate getting access to the consumer's account so we could figure out how much was owed. As you've well learned probably that all of the wells run on the same electric bills. Well, it's not. There's separate meters for each of the wells, but they're all assigned to the condominium association, the 10 wells, and the meters that go with them. That was a little troubling, but we managed to get through it, and Jeff finally did a letter to consumers authorizing release of the information to myself. And we learned that the bill for all of the units and the meters, I went to each location, found the meters that we were being billed for to confirm that they were the right meters, and it was over $1,000. Property insurance had been canceled as of January 2008 for non-payment. I indicated the sewer bills are ready, and the garbage bills were unpaid, and Carl went ahead and paid some back amounts for that, and then we owed him, basically. It wasn't a pretty picture. There were 12 of us paying: Jan Culver, Pam Baker, myself, Eric Holliday, Dory MacArthur, Andrea Aurelia, Joanne Frisano, Linda and David Goodrich, Bob Hamill, Doug Nolan, Matt and Amy Taylor, and Ruth and Larry Murphy. These 12 units paid the past due amounts so that we could go on, out of our pockets. We paid $1,434.48 in a consumer's bill. We paid $1,125.36 for the garbage. We had to go without insurance. Some of us were fortunate enough that our mortgage companies would give us additional insurance. Others were not so lucky. We paid dues into the trust account at Innocencio Fisk. I know Bruce Innocencio and Christina Fisk very well. They're well respected in the community, and that's who we talked with. We ultimately hired them. We paid all of our sewer bills, including the past due amounts, on our own, and decided that we would continue to do so until we had control of the association and could sort things out. We paid lawyer fees of $1,800. Now, I'm going to pause there. That was $150 each of us. And that luxury was because I'm a lawyer. That bill could have been easily 5 times that. Jeff ended up being very cooperative because I didn't give him any slack. I was constantly on him. When he didn't give me the documents I needed, we paid Christina to draft the documents, and I sent them to him. And he signed them and mailed them back to me. Stay tuned. Total paid by each unit, $363.32 by those 12 units. In April of 2008, we had done enough research to figure out that there were 2 mortgages against the property, and Satori Corporation owned the lion's share of that. We learned a lot about Jeff Egan during that time. We found out that he was involved with the, Denny McClain, the pension scam with Denny McClain. Pete Meatpacking. Pretty devastating to all of us. We were very frustrated. Dennis and I played email phone tag for quite some time, and we scheduled an actual meeting on the morning of Good Friday. We had about a half-hour to 45-minute conversation. He explained to me that they were trying to proceed to foreclosure because Carl was telling us all these things as to what Satori was or wasn't going to do. But we knew that there was a lot of money there that Satori was owed. 2.5, I'm recalling?
2.1 million.
2.1, something like that. Huge, huge dollars. Persistently called Jeff.